Agamanchetti and Declan Curry on BBC Two now, though, with Working Lunch.
Welcome to Working Lunch, here with clear and transparent money news every day.
Taking the pen out of double glazing. A new scheme promises to protect us from cowboy builders and to put things right if they go wrong.
Well, we'll find out whether these sorts of schemes can really offer the protection they promise, that a little bit later on. And he was recently voted one of the 100 most creative people in business. Now, you may know him better from his Eurythmics days. Our big guest of the day is Dave Stewart. Plenty from Dave later on.
Big thrill to have him with us today. Also, getting ready for kick-off the World Cups. The rest of the day is the stuff of sweet dreams. You'll recognise Dave Stewart from his days in the Eurythmics, the 80s pop group. The band, of course, sold more than 100 million albums.
Well, Dave is also the founder of his company, Weapons of Mass Entertainment. Think of it as an ideas factory, helping to create television shows, producing records, and even working on stage musicals. Well, Dave was recently named one of the 100 most creative people in business by Fast Company magazine. Creative and business, exactly what we like on Working Lunch. Do join us. Yeah.
Please, yes.
Great having you on. I mean, obviously, we all know you as a great star of music from the past 2 decades. Were you always entrepreneurial, though?
I think I was. You know, when I was a little boy, I used to do things like get little halfpennies or pennies and polish them and shine them. So I'd sell a halfpenny for a penny.
Someone would actually buy a penny for half a penny.
They would.
Half a penny for a penny.
That's a good trick.
Yeah, it's a good trick. The thing is, you know, the thing about being creative, that was a creative little thing to do. And standing out and sort of putting your hand up in the air in any business is going to help your business succeed. And that's what, you know, I've just written a book called The Business Playground, published by the Financial Times and Pearson Books. And it tells you inside of that book not only, you know, well, it has living proof of why that works, but also how to get your mind to think like that, and gives you experiments and games to put your mind into that creative space.
But you're the future now. We're always told that the future of Britain's economy lies in creative industries, in how we think rather than how we actually make things.
Well, actually, well, of course, because the whole world's changed. I mean, in 20 years, you know, you used to have 5-year plans. Now you've got like a 48-hour plan. People can know about something in a nanosecond on the internet. So how do you create something that attracts eyeballs to you if you're not being creative? I mean, most websites for corporate companies just look so bland that an average person would stay on them about, you know, a second. And anyway, in business in general, if you don't have creativity inside it, thinking of solutions, you know, that save lots of money, also solutions to get yourself known, then you won't survive over the next 10 years.
But I'm sure there'll be lots of our viewers watching who'll say, this is all nonsense. Britain was great when it made things for a living and it sold them around the world. All this talk about making your fortune out of things like music and creativity is flim-flam.
Well, I wasn't talking about making money out of music and creativity. I was talking about using creativity to sell the things that you make, whether it's sandwiches in a sandwich shop, or in my book I actually have extracts of advising people of selling all sorts of things, from, you know, people running a cycle shop in the Pennines to you still need a little flag waving in the air so people even notice that you're there. And
you work with the likes of, I believe, Nokia, Sony, Visa, some big corporate names.
I'm advisor to Nokia, the cell phone company, and people think, oh, he means advising about music. I hardly ever talk about music, you know. For instance, Nokia would have something that's an application that they want people to know about. Their normal way would to be have a website and you can go there and find out. I might create a whole TV show that's a hit Saturday night show, that within that show somehow you find out about that application.
So you're not working on big projects, because you seem to be working on lots of projects. Are you working on the nub of the idea and then giving it to someone else to grow?
Well, what I do is I think big and I create big ideas, but then I turn them into prototypes and I go to the best strategic, huge company in order to manifest and execute that idea.
How do you get them to talk to you?
It's usually the idea is strong enough for them to be interested to have a meeting. And when I'm in the meeting, then it's my sheer sparkling repartee.
Just a quick question, if you don't mind, about your past life rather than what you do today. Does anyone make money out of the music industry, and if so, who?
Okay, well, earlier Naga was asking me if I was going to do anything about this. Yes, see, people out there who are trying to sell music have got to think differently. They've got to think music is the engine from which they can sell other things. In the meantime, I'm busy creating something where a swift, transparent payment for the first time ever to creators would come into existence. Just to give you an example, if somebody sold a record or got played on the radio, you would usually get paid 9 to 27 months later. If you swipe a Visa card or any Barclay card in that little grocery store machine, we usually get impatient after about 10 seconds, like, what's that machine doing? Meanwhile, in 1.4 seconds, that has went into your bank account and the merchant's bank account. It's worked everything out and sorted it all out in 24 hours. So 9 to 27 months was a bit of a wheeze, basically. They're just holding on to all the money.
Okay. It's an interesting insight. It's lovely having you on. Good luck with all the
you.
ideas. You must be exhausted with all that creativity. Dave, lovely having you here.
Good to talk.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Now, it is Tuesday. It's time for Declan to head off to the tech shed.
Same will go round to Charisse. I don't know where he lives.
Oh, I'll find out, don't you worry. I tell you what, you're talking about HD. Dave's sitting here going, well, we've got 3D in the States. Is that where you watch all your sports?
Well, I know that American football you can watch in 3D TV, and 3D TVs are selling like hotcakes in the States, so...
And do any of those gadgets appeal for you? What about the World Cup? I mean, I know you live in the States now, but are you going to be tuning in this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be so many different ways to watch the World Cup. I like to be watching some of the World Cup on the new stereoscopic mobile screens.
You're a very techno gadget man. Is it?
Yeah, wherever you are,
things.
on the beach, see the goal coming out towards you.
It's a nice life, isn't it, Dave? Lovely having you with you. Tom, thanks very much as well. We're back at 12:30 tomorrow.
See you then. Bye-bye.
European gymnastic highlights from